need to chill a little bit. So a couple of videos ago, I talked about the importance of hobbies and how they can help you feel more grounded and more in touch with yourself when things feel a little bit off. And the other day, I actually went to a Michael's store, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically like an arts and crafts store. At the front of the store, they actually had this like jumbo yarn. When I saw it, I immediately thought of like a big fluffy blanket. I thought, why can't I try to make one myself? After seeing it and thinking about it for a little bit, I decided it would be a cool idea to try to make one myself, have it as like a little hobby, a little project. I started making a blanket, and maybe it sounds a little bit crazy, but it's actually coming out pretty nice. This is what I have so far. Finger knitting blankets, I think that's what people call them, because you could just do it with your hands. You don't really need any tools, which is another thing I really liked. Of course, one like ball of yarn wasn't enough. After seeing that I was really into it, my boyfriend actually got me 8 things of yarn, and I'm gonna try to continue this blanket if the colors match. Luckily, I fell in love with this right away. I figured why not give it a try and make it a new hobby for myself. Of course, I have a billion other hobbies. I love fish keeping, and I love, of course, cameras and making these videos. So I have a bunch of other hobbies, but this is something that I wanted to focus on because it didn't require any screen time, and it also doesn't require much thought, to be honest. When it comes to the aquarium keeping, it does require a lot of thinking and it does require a lot of care. I just wanted to give a little bit of inspiration in case you guys needed something to maybe feel like you could connect to, or maybe something you want to try out yourself. Let's hope that the yarn that I bought ends up matching the blanket that I've already started. But if that's not the case, then I'm just going to use this for something else. Let's get started and see what this looks like. It should expand a little more. Oh, that's cute. Little bow. So the color doesn't 100% match. This is like slightly lighter than this one. We'll see. We'll see. Looks pretty nice. So yesterday I started the blanket and I got kind of far, to be honest. And maybe it's not coming out the greatest because you can see like right here, there are like visible holes, but it's not terrible either. I mean, definitely looks homemade. I got a lot of it done. I only have 3 of those little rolls left, and yeah, it should be good to go. I ended up honestly not loving this color, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it'll look better once it's complete. I don't know. Just these visible holes, maybe I can pull it together and make it look a little more tight. But yeah, it's not that hard, it's not that bad. I think I could fix it. We'll have to wait and see. So I'm gonna continue making the blanket here on the floor because it's kind of hard to intertwine the yarn when I'm holding it on my lap on the couch. So yeah, I'm just gonna do it on the floor and hopefully it turns out a little bit better. But I think this is a cool starter. Maybe next time I would go for a different color. In the sunlight, like bright part of the day, I'm able to see the color a little bit better, and it's looking more like a peachy tone, and I was going for more of a brown color. Maybe I'll go back to the craft store and buy the darker brown. I'm already thinking about my second project, even though I haven't even finished the first blanket, but that's how these types of hobbies go for me, at least. Let's see how it turns out after I'm done using all of the yarn. Finishing the blanket yesterday. It went by faster than I had thought, honestly, since it was my first time doing something like this. It seemed like a lot of yarn, which, I mean, it is. It's a pretty big blanket. Honestly, I didn't measure it or anything, so I'm not even gonna try to lie to you. I am very proud of it. It did come out a little different at the top here because I used the original yarn from Michael's that I had bought and then the Amazon one down here. But I kind of feel like that adds character, and it also adds a different type of style to this. I mean, not really style, maybe more the design, just because you can kind of see the difference in color, almost like this ombre effect, but I don't mind it. I eventually want to learn how to make like patterns on these. It obviously seems way more complicated, so I do want to take my time with that, but I just got really eager when I was making this and I wanted to finish it so I could see what it looks like. And like I said, I finished it pretty quickly. I could definitely see this being a hobby for the foreseeable future, and I think it's something that I could really get into. This turned out to be around, let's call it like $35, which isn't a terrible price. I hope that I could inspire you to try something that maybe you didn't even think of, or something that you don't think you're capable of doing. I think that it's something that is super fun, creative, teaches you patience, and you end up getting a really cozy blanket out of it. So maybe you want to give it a try, and I'm pretty sure that you will enjoy it too. So these days I find myself spending a lot of time in the garage just because obviously I have my main hobby in here, which is aquarium keeping and fish keeping, of course. I actually got this tank from my cousin who no longer needed it, and it worked out perfectly because our previous tank was not really the style we were going for. We just decided that we're gonna sell that old one and keep this one. And we bought a new one as well, which is almost the same size as our old one, but it is way more shallow, which I think has a lot more benefits when it comes to like cleaning and also the way it looks, of course. So we actually ended up getting that tank on a super sale as well. I'm still debating whether I want that to be a saltwater tank or another freshwater tank. I think I want to go saltwater, but I'm a little bit scared to make the jump. That's a part of like having hobbies and things like that. You're able to experiment and get to know kind of like what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do. I am excited to set it up, but it's something that's going to take a while, and I'm kind of not really thinking about that yet. As far as this tank, we do have 3, I believe they're called Harlequin rasboras. They're very cute. They're super tiny. I love microfish. I feel like they're super adorable, and I feel like they're kind of underrated. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe everybody really does love microfish and I'm just making stuff up in my head. We also have 2 ghost catfish and 3 dwarf suckerfish, which are one of my favorites in the tank, but my ultimate favorites are definitely the shrimp that I have. I kind of even wanted to make like a nano tank for just shrimp, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself because I also have a betta fish, which is at my mom's house. And I have, like I said, that new tank that isn't even set up yet. So I need to chill a little bit. this is something I'm really happy with, and I'm also really proud of how I've grown the plants. They aren't the easiest thing in the world. I think people kind of underestimate how important natural plants are in an aquarium. People kind of just buy fish and end up buying those plastic plants that feel like could definitely be harmful to fish and to any of the tank mates, I should say. I have a couple of different types of plants. I believe these are called anubas. These are bacopa something, don't quote me. And this is dwarf hair grass, which I really love. All of this is just super beginner friendly, and like I said, I feel very proud of this tank, and I'm really excited to add more to it, maybe to see if our shrimp end up having like babies or something, because for now we only have 2 girls and 1 male. And it did seem like we had an opportunity to have some babies here, but unfortunately the female shrimp that seemed like she was going to be able to have the babies molted, and she did not get her eggs fertilized. I believe that's what it is, because shrimp can't get pregnant technically. But for now, no baby shrimp. I am excited to see if that's an opportunity in the future, and yeah, I'm just really proud of this. It's a hobby I would definitely recommend, but it is not the easiest thing in the world. It looks super pretty. I also just like having this as a space where I could come down here and take a little breather. If you are wanting to start a tank of your own, I would definitely recommend getting into it. Maybe start with a 10-gallon, or maybe 5 gallons would be the smallest I would go if you're looking to have like a betta fish. But other than that, I wouldn't really mess with the 3-gallon or any of those nano tanks if it's not for like something like snails or shrimp, or even just aquatic plants, to be honest, because I feel like that's kind of unethical. But yeah, if you are wanting to take the chance, you definitely should.